And hello, all my fellow nerds. This is Oracle Nerd here, and welcome back once again to Starfallen Strength. So last time we actually got a couple of achievements last time, and we've gone down a couple paths. But there's still a few choices that we haven't made yet. I do want to see the alternate versions of those choices, but I feel like we're actually coming to the end of this visual novel at some point. I don't know how long the ending will be, but let's just see what happens. The morning the mornings are hard. I lie in bed much too long, recounting dreams and memories of what occurred, and have to find it within myself to keep pressing on. Mornings used to be the most energizing part of the day, but now they feel like a weight I'm forced to carry. What awaits me is an entire day of horrific memories and thoughts of the uncertain future. When I manage to drag myself out of bed, I run into Petra out in the hallway. She's hunched over. She looks different. I wonder if the same can be said for me. Morning. Morning. No good included. Yes, that's fitting. Hmm. I'm going for a walk. Will you come with? I nod. A walk sounds tiring, but it's also better than staying huddled up in my quarters. Petra walks beside me, closer than I remember her having done before. I'm grateful she stays so close to my side. My muscles are stiff, but it's some wounds in place that make it harder to walk, but none of it time can't fix. But none of it time can't fix. Physically at least. You doing all right? I'm fine. Hardly a scratch. Though it's as if we were forced to admit to something ashamed. You may you managed to get a lot out of people safely inside. She shrugs, keeping her head down. The avalanche really helped. I don't know what we would have done if I suddenly feel like I shouldn't speak of it. Or maybe if it's better we do? I'm not sure. Mercer was right. She doesn't say it, but I know it's worse than he even alluded to. I feel everything that kept me together beginning to break away. It was horrible. I was sure it would, considering I suppose we can't count ourselves lucky, but it's wrong to feel relief. Though uncharacteristically, she doesn't sound all that sure. Let's not think then. Let's just keep doing what we can to make sure this never happens again. Agreed. We wander the grounds a little aimlessly, sucking in breaths as we step over fallen soldiers left to be collected. I'd done my fair share of collecting. Today was supposed to be my break. Verona had insisted. How could I? Some names of the soldiers I know, others I don't. Feeling even worse. I have a new goal, to learn them all. Ask their friends, ask their families. Never forget what happened. I don't think I could, even if I tried. Once we've spoken with Mercer, I'll spend the remainder of the day gathering the fallen. We find Mercer standing cliffside, staring into the distance. Damn it all, he says, speaking out of the depths of his soul, voice raspy and unused, voicing all of our thoughts. We managed to stave off so much, yet the attack was too great. Couldn't have predicted this. You should have been able to. You can't blame yourself. I say before I think, before I realize I've been doing the same for days now. Can't I? I was made for this, cursed to thrive in this line of work. None of these people were. The Skyward was made to stand above us. He looks up, continuing to avoid our sunken eyes. Beasts are supposed to be mindless, but those things were anything but. They were coordinated, vicious. They understood our moves. When, when be most vulnerable, the guard itself wouldn't have fared much better than we had. So your theory of a your theory of a traitor, could it possibly have something to do with this? She shudders at the thought. It it would make all of this worse somehow. If it wasn't some force of nature, it was planned, it was intentional. I couldn't imagine it. But my dread hasn't left me. There's still something lurking. No, I know. Even after all this, that feeling still won't leave me be. I don't know what else it could be, but my gut is still screaming that there's something human about this. We can't take another attack like this. You're right, we can't. We can't leave. If their target is Skyward, then I know that as well. Our only choice is to hold our position. What of the others? It's not. It's their choice to make. I know. I know you want to keep them safe. As he gathers his thoughts, my mind drifts to Colette, seeing her holding it together for my sake, even when she lost sleep, starved herself, sat in her own filth, just to make sure I awoke. I'd never make her worry for my sake again. Mercer's words echo in the corners of my mind. Find what brings you strength and hold on to it for dear life. Colette, I'll keep you safe. I'll keep you pristine, untouched, more beautiful than anything. I protect your smile. You will want for nothing. We'll be together when it's safe. We'll keep them all safe. You're staying? Like you have to ask. I'm not going anywhere. Mercer's gotten older, whether he wants to admit it or not. He came here as a means to retire. He should he should be home with his wife. No one would blame you. I would. This is my area of expertise. You both you both know better than that. No matter how much I miss home, it isn't worth leaving until I know it can stand without me. She'll understand. We face much the same in our time. It never gets easier. I couldn't face your families, let alone myself, if I walked away. I can hold I can still hold my own. I don't want to doubt him. As strong as he was still just a man. We all had our limits. We're gonna put a stop to this. We're going to try. The doubt is creeping in, and it's like poison. We've lost so much. We need our morale. We need a reason to keep pushing, to believe we're not damned. At least we know who the enemy is now. One part, that is, we need to find the traitor. Do you think it's Idris? She shakes her head. I expect her to say why, but she doesn't. For some reason, I believe it. Surely he had his own motives, but they didn't align with the Wasps. We managed to pull off the impossible. By all accounts, we should have fallen last night, but we've been given a chance to fight back. He sounds hopeful now, for the first time. I don't know what role an angel will have in this, but if they can slay a goddess, then they're an ally we can't afford to lose. But we need to be able to trust those that remain, with all we have. Those we could trust. Idris. Well, he'd given more than plenty of room to doubt them. Being a Nephilim helped even less. I would be a complete and utter fool not to doubt him. But in this instance, now, with how things have gone, I'm inclined to think that his motives, though still troublesome, aren't to destroy Skyward in alliance with those creatures. I saw no signs of the bugs sparing him in the fight. Idris was guilty of something, but it wasn't this. His interest seemed to be me, and maybe humans? I, it still makes little sense to me, but trusting someone needed little. I trusted him. Against all reason and logic, foolishly, I trusted he wasn't my enemy. I believed that after our very first meeting. We've the, we've the corpses of the creatures. We could study them, discover a weakness, potentially track them back to the source, snuff them out in one fell swoop. That's right, it's not over. Why did I feel like it was, even with the fortress still standing tall behind me? With Mercer and Lennon, treating this like a setup, how can they? We all experience the same thing. Am I the one who should retire, go home while I still can? We'll, we'll make every little ant pay. I'll set the nests ablaze personally. Seems fire is something of their weaknesses. Probably why they chose to fight in this rain. I hadn't even noticed. I haven't been able to think straight. My mind is filled with smoke and and the screams echo through my mind. We can't take another attack, and neither can I. We must stop it before such a thing ever happens again. I want to find the root and stomp it out. They possess calculating minds, but their thinking is too small. We can outwit them. He looks directly at me now, like I was that little girl he brought gifts to, soothing me when the storms were too rough, when the night was too dark. I'm scared too. That's how it ought to be. We'd be fools not to be. But fear is rooted in the unknown. Let's learn this enemy and send them far below as it goes. There's much work to be done, girls. We're still standing thanks to you two, to your quick thinking, to your will. That fear didn't harbor you then. Don't let it now. I swallowed down the growing lump in my throat. It does little returning, but I feel restless. I feel restless now. There's so much work to be done, and who knows how little time to do it. We need to rebuild, regroup, and find the traitor, lest we won't get a second chance. They'll come back more ruthless than the last, more knowledgeable of our tricks and their capabilities. Your first task: rest. Gather your strength. You'll need it. Oh wait, is this the end? That's the end? That's how it's gonna end? Okay, wait. Let me check the trophies. Oh, it tells you which ones you unlocked. Oh, and there's one achievement we didn't get. Okay, so you have to romance the others. Well, at least it gives me at least it gives me a reason to go back. Hey, where? There we go. Okay, so let's load here. So we did Colette's story already. So let's go with Dion this time. I kind of want to go in like right, left, center. Let's do Dion this time. It has been 12 hours since the attack. The is a hive of bodies, broken and hustling. Low voices meet boots on the blood-soaked stone. There are endless piles of linen and damp wool. The healers have moved Cod's hand stained with salve. Sleeves rolled to the elbow. The air smells of antiseptic and smoke residue. Dion sits near the back, a shock of green amongst all the red. He's on the edge of a cot. One hand braces the frame, the other presses his ribs around his flesh. Fresh bandaging shows through the gaps, dark where the blood and salve have soaked it. His hair has come loose, and now a wild mane. Ash streaks through the algae strands. Dried blood mats near his temple. He sees me, tries to stand up. Sit beside him. I pull us too close and sit beside him. Our knees almost touch. He stops trying to stand and sits back down. Wade settling into the cot as if his body had been on the verge of failing. Before you speak, I know I should be resting. I am not going to. He attempts to grin. I see tension in his jaw and tight skin around his eye. How bad is it? I have had worse. He looks down at his hands. They shake. I've seen Dion in arena light and battlefield smoke. I've seen his hands steady on the spear when the world is not. Those hands shake now, and the sight lands in my stomach. Across the room, someone groans. A healer murmurs reassurance. Linen rustles, but a bowl clinks against a tray. Callum did not make it. My chest tightens. I can hear Callum's laugh from the yard. It's clear as day. I know. And Iris. He swallows. She was within reach. I saw it coming. I did not move fast enough. His fingers dig into his ribs, white at the joints. Dion. I had my spear in my hand. and I did not move fast enough. His voice breaks in the last word. He inhales through his teeth. They, they took, they look to me. They call me Dragon. His hands shake harder when he tries to make his fist. Two people are dead, and I stood there. You did not stand there. You fought. He lifts his eyes to mine. I froze first. The swarm broke through. I followed whoever shouted loudest. I did not decide. I did not think. I swung and hoped the noise in the room would choose for me. He drags a hand through his hair. Ash and blood dust his fingers. His voice flattens. My father said I was trained for fighting and nothing else. I heard him tonight. I, I taste smoke in the back of my throat. My shoulder aches when I shift on the stool, and the pain keeps me present. Your father is not in this room. His breath leaves him in rough line. He's in my head. His shoulder shifts, and dark stain spreads near the bandage along his pectoral muscle. I stand and reach for his supplies. Let me see it. The heal the healers already looked. They had too many bodies in too little time. Sit still. He hesitates. His gaze stays on my hands as I gather a clean cloth and a needle. Th- then he pulls the bandage aside. The gash sits along the side, stitched in haste. One stitch has begun to pull. The skin around it holds heat. I move closer. The warmth of him reaches my finger before I touch him. His back is his back is firm under tension. Scars raised in thin lines across muscle that refuses to relax. Go slow. Be careful. Always go slow and be careful with these kind of things. I clean the wound with slow attention. I pause when his muzzle tightens. I let my hand settle on his chest once, then move again. His breath catches when my fingers brush his warm and tight skin. His shoulders hold still, then soften a fraction. The scent of him rises under the antiseptic, and my pulse answers before I permit it. I rub fresh bandages around the stitches. Linen passes under my hands and over his skin. Each pass brings my fingers across the edge of his shoulder, the line of his back, and he where his body rages like a bonfire. His breath stays controlled, then breaks when I tie the final knot. You do not freeze. I did what was required. His gaze stays forward, fixed on nothing. When everything broke apart, he made decisions. I waited for someone else to decide for me. My hands remain on his side after the knot. The con the contact holds. His skin is hot beneath my palm. You kept people alive, not the ones I lost. You do not have such power over every life. His throat works. He does not speak. He turns his head enough to see the edge of his profile. The line of his jaw is tight. His mouth parts once, then closes. Idris saved us. He did. He broke from his cell and turned to the fight. I owe him, and I hate it. My fingers leave his shoulders. The loss of contact cools my palm. Then we decide what we do with that truth. Dion looks at me and waits. He waits the same way he waited on the yard. His voice stays steady. His hands still tremble. What do you think we should do? What do I think? I will follow your lead. What do we do with him, Commander? The toe carries a heavy weight to it. Ooh, I don't really know. Wait, I feel like this might actually change some things. Wait a second. Make a decision. We interrogate Idris. Dion's shoulders ease. Relief shows in the softening of his mouth. As you command. If he lies, I want to hear it first. If he tells the truth, I want you to hear it. His gaze recedes and drifts beyond the wall. I have a chilling thought that I have lost him. Tell me when, and I will be there. The room quiets further as the worst cases settle. The healer walks past us carrying a bowl of dark water. A cloth in their hand drips. Leon shifts on the cot and winces. His breath cuts short. He presses his palm to a new bandage, then drops his hand. I saw you go down. His voice changes, carries less control. I saw it. I did not know if you would stand again. He looks at me with his one eye. The fear of it crackles like lightning. My hand, my hand lifts to his face before I decide to move. I touch the scarred side, where skin stays rough beneath my fingertips. He goes still. He leans into my palm. His breath leaves him in a tremor. His eyelids close. The heat of his skin settles in my hand, but his pulse beats under my fingers. My own pulse answers in my throat and wrists. His hand rises and closes around my wrist. Then, not to pull me away, he holds my touch in place. Len. His voice is low and strained. I do not move closer, nor do I step back. Space between us stays narrow. My body registers it. Warmth in my stomach, tension in my spine, breath that refuses to deepen. He opens his eye. He holds his look at me. Then he guides my hand down carefully with my wrist. You need rest. That is my role. I will check the others. He presses his palm to the cot frame and stands. Pain pulls it at his lips. You cannot carry all of it. I need to know who made it. The words do little to appease me. I offer a hand, but he refuses as he limps with a throbbing pain in each step. We walk to the infirmary door together, torches burn low in the corridor. He stops at the threshold and turns to me. I know what they see when they look at me. A fighter? A man who can hold a line. His voice steadies again. They will tell you I should be in your chair. Would you want it? He stares at me, almost horrified that I would suggest such a thing. Command comes with paper. I would bleed out from boredom. I managed to smile. Get rest when you can, Dion. You as well, Commander. Champion of your heart, Romance Dion. He he turns back. Turns back towards the cots. He moves through the infirmary with care, shoulders squared and back straight as an arrow, despite the stitching. Soldiers watch him and settle when he passes. My hand remains warm where he touched his face. I close my fingers once, then let them fall to my side. I watch until the body between us breaks in line of sight. Oh, okay. So now we have Petra. All right. So Idris, Lunahan, and Farron, Zavi and Farron. You have Farron this time. Farron, where's Farron? Last time I saw him, it was a few hours ago, right after the attack. Thankfully, he was being patched in the infirmary for minor wounds, nothing life-threatening. When he heard me come in, his ears point upright and alert. Then soon went back to their previous position, low on his head. His tail hasn't moved from lying down on the infirmary bed. His eyes looked hollow and unfocused. It was as if he was looking right through me. I had never seen him so gloomy, like at that moment. Farron, how are you? Doing well, just some scratches here and there. Indeed, I can see that, and that's great. Although, how are you? He diverted his eyes from me. Fine. His voice was faint, any lower and I wouldn't have heard it. An awkward moment of silence passed. I have, I have to go and determine damage and casualties, though I will reunite with you again as soon as possible. I don't know if I was trying to comfort him or myself. I don't want to leave him. Unfortunately, I had to. I am all right, really, he said softly, reassuring. You should try and sleep, Miss Petra. I let it go at the time. But now I can't find him. I looked into every room, every corner, and turn of the headquarters. Nothing. I asked around. Nobody knew where he went. My last chance was the Winnier Wilds. The forest was around the Skyward. I'd exhausted every possible place he could have been within the Skyward itself, but it had occurred to me far too late that he was an Anataran, and of course he'd consider seeking out the forest. Which worries me, since Mercer had mentioned some of the monster horde could be lurking within those very woods. I don't want him to get hurt. I cautiously enter the woods, making note of the landmarks as I search for Farron, hoping I don't get lost looking for him, or worse, ambushed. Then, just like they can never find him, I spot him far off in the distance, just a peak of gray fur. Farron! I know better to draw attention to myself, but this may be my only chance to reach him, and I start running. Farron stands waiting for me. I can't see his face. As I approach, my pace slows. I catch sight of his eyes now, hard and focused on not me. Watch out! Before even had time to process, he already sliced the wasp with his dagger. Fortunately, my muscle memory allowed me to dodge out of the way for him to get a clean hit in, falling the creature with little issue. Are you okay? Fairy grips my shoulders, shaking me once, then frantically looks me over, assessing as if I have any injuries or feelings of distress present in my expression. I shakily answer back, a bit in shock, but quickly regain my footing. Yes, good save, thank you. He stiffly nods at that. He redirects his gaze ahead as if preparing to continue his previous endeavors. I talk before he has a chance to. What are you doing out here? You should go get rest. I can't. What do you mean? I can't rest. I don't know how to. All this happened. I can't. You should go back. Come back with me. He seems to hesitate for a moment, then he shakes his head, apparently resolving himself. I'm sorry. Without warning, the world around me starts spinning. I lose my footing and he catches me in time before I hit the ground. Miss Petra? I just I just need a moment. He helps me sit with my back against the tree. He stays crouched in front of me, inspecting me with a hard expression on his face. His brows furrow and his mouth keeps on opening and closing, as if he couldn't settle on what to say. I am so sorry. I didn't mean to distress you. None of this is your fault. It's it's exhaustion catching up to me. I haven't rested since the start of the attack. Wordlessly, he sits beside me and lays his tail on me. Turn my head towards him to ask what this is about, whereas he is looking straight ahead. As unaffected as he tries to appear, I can still see his rosy cheeks. I tentatively place my hand on his fur. It's very soft. I can tell he takes good care of it. My fingers run through it absent-mindedly. I think I understand now. It's relaxing, comforting, secure. After a few minutes, I manage to slow down my racing heart and stop my body from shaking. Better? Better. He gives a little smile. The Fox and the Rose, Romance Farron. Aww. I was too much in my head back there, but I'm glad you're safe. He says that he says it so warmly, so fondly. It make it makes me it makes like it means everything to him. My heart skips a beat. And I am glad I found you. We stay in comfortable silence for a while. Only us, the trees, the wind, and the moon. I sense the tail twitch before he turns towards me. Can I ask you something? Of course. Do you think Sir Mercer is mad at me? Why would he be? He came back to Skyward because of me. He he should be resting with his wife, not fighting stupid monsters. Farron, it's my fault. Madame Nadia must be worried sick for him, and she probably hates me now too. I feel like we've met Nadia in one of the other games. I don't know, I just feel like we have. Farron, again, none of this is your fault. Nobody could have predicted any of this would happen. You should go talk to her, I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fine. Mercer isn't the type to hold grudges like that. Are you sure? You'll only stress yourself out. I wouldn't worry about it. It was his own choice to come here. If you say so. I must say, I'm rather surprised you are more worried about what Mercer thinks rather than your safety, considering the current monster invasion. Aren't you scared? I am worried, but I am not scared. I guess I'm used to it. Back home, we always had to move around. Humans would keep on attacking us. Had to rebuild camp elsewhere each time. He lets out a sigh. I thought it would be different here. Maybe I finally found my place here in the Skyward. Or at least that I would be useful. I fought a lot, but dead bodies, more and more dead bodies, they just wouldn't stop, no matter how much I slashed and stabbed. I've heard Mercer talk about the stench that the Dreadguard, the monster hunters, bring with them. Oh, whoops. Bad luck, bad magic, it causes bad things to happen wherever they stay. At, last night, I felt like I carried it with me too. Humans called Anaterra a cursed land. He stops for a moment, reflecting before saying something that breaks my heart in two. I'm still as useless as when I was back home. I hadn't realized he'd been carrying all this with him. Though I know little of what he means or what the truth is, I can't, or rather I won't, believe that he's damned. This kind of thinking has only served to hurt magic users of the past. Witches, they called them. It it was their way of blaming someone for the misfortune and tragedy. But but the truth of the matter was more complicated than that. To me, he's made Skyward a better place. He wasn't cursed, and if he was, then I would be too. He wouldn't be going anywhere. Hmm. This is this why you came here in the woods to continue patrolling? He simply nods, his gaze still trained on the grass beneath us. I don't know. Both of these choices sound kind of condescending. You can always get better. You aren't happy with yourself. That's okay. What is important is what you do after. I've also felt at times I've fallen short. You have? He whips his head around to look at me. Of course, I'm human too. Or rather, you, or rather, you know what I mean. Farron laughs a little despite himself. What I mean is we're bound to fail no matter what. But all we can do is continue onwards or lie on our backs and die. His eyes widen a little, clearly unsure of where I'm going with this. I sympathize. I haven't given up on trying just yet. And you haven't either, right? He nods hesitantly, making me smile a little. Keep up what you've been doing. Keep on improving. I believe in you, Farron. And I will stay with you until you do. Too. Until you do too. A shaky breath escapes him. I can see his eyes well up and lips trembling. I open my arms as an invitation. He doesn't think twice before accepting it. He starts sobbing and I continue holding him until he calms down. He gently pulls away from my embrace, but holds my hands in his. It's warm, contrasting with my cold one. Better? He laughs at that. Better. We stay like this, hand in hand, observing and feeling the nature around us. Ooh, okay. Okay, so this is all the same dialogue. Oh, wait, this is new. Dion, we'll keep each other safe. No one has faced as much tragedy as you, and yet smiles so brightly and so crookedly. We won't let this end in anything less than victory. We'll keep them all safe. You're staying? Okay, so whoops. Okay, so that's those we could trust. Farron. I haven't known him long, but it was clear to me that his heart was in the right place. He got wrapped in something bigger than himself, yet he continued to persist. True, his desire to learn magic was great, but He needn't destroy the Skyward to have what he sought. Perhaps I was being naive, but I couldn't imagine a world in which he stand against us. Mercer, especially who was like a pseudo father to him, who gave him an opportunity no Enetera ever had. I wouldn't believe him a traitor, no matter what. Eneterans were some of the kindest people to have ever walked Illyrian soil, and Farron was no exception. Okay, so that's the same dialogue as before. Okay, honestly, I kind of want to make a thumbnail of this. This looks cool. Oh, wait, I might get better. Wait, there's still other things. Wait, so each one has six. Each one has six of them. How do we get the other five? Or four in Aegis' case. I don't know. Okay, let me load back. Okay, this time we're gonna go Verona and Zavi. I'm running across the battlefield as fast as my legs can carry me. Around me, I can only see fire, smoke, and destruction. Foes and the bodies of my comrades, and the very few still standing. I've never been particularly religious, but I pray to the goddess herself that Verona is still among those standing. I can't help but worry. I've been running for a while, defeating the monsters on my path, helping the other soldiers, but I cannot seem to find her. Is she further away? Is she injured or worse? Before my thoughts spiral further, I start to spot them. I the spread of dead bodies of the monsters. First in a few in between, then stacks of them piled on each other. What surprises me the most is the gradation of their deaths. The first bodies appear to be relatively intact. A single, decisive blow seems to have been what killed them. But with every course, their death becomes more and more brutal and gruesome. Not the work of a soldier, but one of a butcher. I even have to step over the body of the monster who had their head bashed open, the wound a gash crossing their face, its blood, whatever matter inside, slowly dripping onto the ground. Another has its spear embedded in its torso. From the mark around the point of entry of the weapon, and the monster lacks holds on the weapon. They they stayed alive for a bit before succumbing to their injuries. Whatever killed them made it show a cruelty halfway through their path. Of course, they invaded us. Of course, they killed our soldiers, my comrades I've known for years. Others barely out of adulthood. But the thought of that one of our soldiers deliberately strayed from the Skyward to give in to a thirst for revenge and slaughtered these monsters makes me feel a bit sick, especially the way it was done. And they're still coming. Their footprints lead to the same direction. They're there and there, a faint droplet of human blood reminds me of whatever is killing them is human. Then I see her, Verona. She's fighting two monsters at the same time. She seems at ease. Of course, I knew that Verona's upbringing at the Colosseum made her a terrible opponent, but there's a brutality here that, as if she was trying to hurt, to make a show of violence. She evades and parries the deadly blows and takes those who aren't. Finally, I see her the arm of one of the monsters before slamming her heel on the leg, making them bend to her level so she can pierce his head with a sick cracking sound. She draws her sword back from the monster's head and slams it against the other's torso, ripping it open and killing them on the spot. I run a bit faster, allowing me to catch up to her. Vero! Before, before having hastily parried her sword coming straight to my throat, the clank, the clang of her clashing blades echoes through the relative silence of the battlefield. I owe my survival entirely on my reflexes. A moment of hesitation and a second too late, I will be dead. I see exactly when the I see exactly when the thought hits Verona, probably twice as hard as she drops her sword into the ground with little care. Her trembling hand cups my face forcibly. Lennon! By the goddess, are you all right? She seems genuinely distressed. I heard her eyes widen and scared. She, she's checking for injuries everywhere. I can feel her hands on my shoulders, my neck, the small of my back before I stop her, a bit breathless. I take a step back. Rona, I'm all right. No injuries. See? I spread my arms so she can see how uninjured I am. It also allows me to check on her. She has a few injuries there and there, mostly cuts and contusions, but she seems overall unharmed. However, she seems awfully tired, and and she has this look that I really don't like. Front her, reassure her. Oh, I don't know. Just reassure her. I approach her, sheathing my sword back at the same time, trying not to spook her. She takes a step back, but I don't let her avoid me. Holding her hands in mine, I press our foreheads together in a show of comfort. Of course, I'm still confused. Of course, I cannot forget what Verona left behind, the pile of dead bodies. But I remember that the first few were killed efficiently, what would be expected of a soldier. I know she has a good explanation. She smells strongly like flowers, hiding the smell of smoke, fire, and steel surrounding us. Her hands are wet from the blood of the monsters she slayed. It should probably bo- it should probably bother me much more than what it does, but I'm more focused on the distress of Verona's face. Verona, hey, everything's all right. I'm here. You're here. We're good. My eyes fell on the broken bodies of the monsters. Them not so much, but what can we do? Chuckle softly, it sounds rougher. Here's my sweet girl. Look at you laughing already. She seems to calm down slowly. I can see the tremor starting to subside. She even managed to smile, albeit a weak one. Don't be patronizing. So when you do it, it's not patronizing, but when I do, it is. Talk about double standard. I'll be so patronizing once a commander. Watch me. I'll call you my girl, and I'll find a way to have my guiding hand on you at all times. No flirting while we're on the battlefield. Her tone is a bit clipped, but if she's good enough to start teasing me, I'd say we're on the right path. I don't I don't know why. Don't you feel wooed already? I'm creating an atmosphere. Instinctively, I grab one of her hands to kiss it, going for what I hope is a seductive look. Before I remember that her hands are still covered in sticky monster blood, I sputter. So much for my seductive look. At least Verona is laughing. It must mean I'm not doing too bad. I take a step back. I can't help but I can't help but notice that that the first that she first seems to follow after me to keep going. Can you explain to me what happened? You seem pretty far from Skywood. I was with the other soldiers, but I had to get away pretty quickly. I don't know but the monsters were always able to find us. They seem to have target me specifically at some point. My eyebrows furrow. That is weird. Do you think they were offered to go after you because you're a leader? Maybe. They started to swarm me, and my sole presence was putting the others in danger. So, so I decided to stay far away from Skyward, or at least try to divert at least some of them. And they kept coming, and I kept fighting. At some point, I think I lost track of the time. I kept going until you found me. Rona looks around with a complicated expression on her face. I wouldn't be able to tell you precisely how long it's been since the attack started. That's pretty worrying because of the fact she was targeted like this this situation. Rona decided to put herself in more danger to make sure she wouldn't burden the other soldiers. But also, why would they swarm her like that? Merely because she's our leader? It wouldn't explain why they apparently are able to follow her. Could magic be at hand? Could they have put a tracking spell on you? I doubt it. That would be a pretty advanced magic, and monsters are not known for using it. But I suppose magic could be at hand. I could have Zavi examine me. We don't know much about them, apart from the fact that they look like oversized angry bees. Rona's face does a series of complicated expressions until she pinches the bridge of her nose, looking especially tired. She seems to come to a realization. I might have a lead, but let's move on. I want to see for myself how much damage we sustained. I winced, saddened by how many soldiers I found dead on the way to Verona, and with the prospect of having to tell her about it. Hmm. I mean, I'd say you should tell her the truth. Like she kind of deserves to know. I'm still waiting for the reports to be sure, but given the state of the battlefield where I left it, I think our loss is significant. Significant? Bad. Very bad. I think at this point there's fewer of us alive than dead. I hear her stop breathing. Her breathing stopped. I think mine does too. We stay silent for a few seconds. Verona gazes carefully, hidden from the view by her hair. She deserves to know, even if it adds to an already very bad day. At least Idris' intervention helped us level the field. Prisoner? He helped us? He's actually a Nephilim. He's a what? The surprise is everywhere on Rona's face when she turns to face me. You mean to tell me that we had a Nephilim under custody and that at no point did they try to get away? We have yet to understand why they did it. But given how decisive their help was, the only thing I want to say is welcome aboard. I'm sure they'll look great in our uniform. Bruno sends me a look of disbelief that just makes me chuckle. Come on, soldier, unsheath thy sword. We have a monster to slay. She smiled a bit softer, picking back her sword. Understood, Commander. Just maybe hold off on the butchering for now. Lennon, just saying. Oh, unite and conquer, romance Verona. I, okay. I need to speak to. Okay, so now we just choose Zavi. I really want to see all the endings. Blazing fire erupts all around us. I cover my face from the wave of oppressive heat. Though the battlefield, my through the battlefield, my feet pound. The crunch of charred wasp bodies beneath me. I look around frantically, looking for a glint of moonstones across the field. My heart drops to my chest. Why can't I see them? Charging forth, my shoulders only relax when I finally spot them. They're crouched over a wounded soldier, their hands glowing silvery blue. They look up as I hear my footsteps, eyes growing wide. They quickly pat the shoulder of the warrior. Get back to the fortress with the others. He has no protest and limps off as Zavi grabs their skirts and rushes for me. Petra, are you all right? Are you hurt anywhere? Did you see? They grab my hands, examining every part of me. Their eyes dart to the cut on my chin, where my armor is caved in, the blood on my brow. They shut their eyes. I feel their healing magic wash over me. Zavi, I'm fine. Exhausted, but not nearly as injured as the others here. You understand. I cannot bear to lose you, Petra. The magic floods me, ringing in my ears, as clear as cool as the chime of a bell. Their, lo- their long hair drips across my shoulder, blood splattered on their pretty robe. All at once, I feel my injuries close and heal. I let out a breath. They, they do too, nearly falling in my grasp. You have, you have to take it easy. Thank you, but you're overexerting yourself. I am fine. We have to save as many people as we can. Her voice comes out as a warble, and they grip my hands tight. But I worry for you. My voice is tight as I see the drain that overuse of their magic is causing them. I will rest when this is all over. There are too many injured for me to stop now. There's another danger here. I saw them flying overhead. The Nephilim. He did not hurt you, did he? Their, their eyes blaze with protective anger and shake my head. No, it just came to stop the swarm. Their face flashes through several emotions at once. The thief? It, they shake their heads, swallowing thickly. Deceptive, conniving little. I went down to feed them. I gave them a puzzle cube. They let out a wild, panicked laugh. Those bars didn't do a thing against them. He was there because he wanted to be, like a bird who seeks a cage. Unless this moment when he decides to play hero after we've lost so many already. I've never heard them even raise their voice before, but the words come out barely contain rage. I place a hand on their arm. They saved us. I don't know. We don't know the level of their power. I'm too grateful to be alive. It's thanks to him. They shake their head, looking distraught. You cannot trust them, no matter how pretty their words. They are to disguise the lies. This swarm came so suddenly. I, how do we know it was not he who led them here? Then why kill them? Why does Nephilim do anything? To seize power. They look across the field. We see the white wings of Idris flying down the mountain, more gouts of flame blasting the army apart. I will protect you from them, I swear to you. Tear, tear tracks cut through the dirt, and blood on their face, mingling with the rain. It was Nephilim who killed the goddess Elir 150 years ago, in, in the Schism War, in their army and the angel who struck the final blow. It was the Nephilim who persecuted Elir, worshippers in days that follow, and took control of the land until being overthrown and vanishing from this world. Until now. I'm sure what it just unsure what it just wants. The Nephilim have been gone for so long. I'm quiet for a moment, processing the sight of Idris flying in the distance. Old enemies witness the Nephilim as a paladin of Alir. Alir is Alir is my goddess as much as Zabi's. Nephilim are the horror stories, the things warned against us, the tricksters harboring the death of devastation. I hold on tightly to them. Idris is young. It is not as though he fought in the Schism War. They look unsure, wrap their arms around me, I fall easily into their embrace. My arms are around their waist. I am glad you're safe. With all that has happened, Petra, They search every inch of my face, reach out, covering their cheeks. I am glad you are as well. I had to come and find you, to make sure you're for myself. The breath hitches as they process for a moment. I thought about you the entire time, hoping, praying that you were safe, that I would find you again. I am glad they're answered. I know you're frightened of bees and other insects. I cannot imagine. They let out a weak, humorless laugh. This is the worst nightmare come to life. I hope, I only hope I will wake from this misery. But now that you're here, I'm not sure I want to. They reach for their rose, pulling out a shining crystal. Black torlim, black tourmaline, my old stone. It will keep you safe. I meant to give it to you before, but I couldn't reach you in time. I place it within my armor and bend down so my forehead touches their hand. Thank you. I stay like that for a moment, and it looks like it takes everything for them to tear away. I had to check on those in the fortress, to help as many as I can. Go, I will find you again. Be safe. Moonlight guide you. Under the moonlight, romance Zavi. I hate to watch them leave, but I know that the world would not stop for us. Wait, is that it? Trophies. 12 out of 12 trophies. Look at that. That that's really cool. I like that. Finally got all the trophies. Okay, so now we go to the talk with Mercer. Okay. Verona. The one I've always looked up to, especially in times of uncertainty. There was no one with whom I could rely on more. Someone who made sense when all else didn't. We'd hold Skyward together and set it right. Okay, so those we could trust. Zavi, I knew I could trust them. They they were as close to pure as a person can be. Only one ever think of what they could do for their fellow man. It was an impossibility for someone who loved Alir to ally themselves with a monster. The, and the antithesis to Alir's creatures. Not to mention Zavi's absolute terror in the face of a ladybug, let alone something as nightmarish as those man-sized wasps. Faith was difficult to have, but I put my life on it. They were one of my closest allies. Okay. And so with that, I believe we are finally done here. This has been an amazing story, and I absolutely love everything that went into it. Hey, we can see the full picture. Ooh, wait, I love this. I love this a lot. Look at this art. It's so good. You know what? I like this. This was really cool. This was a great game, and I absolutely loved how well the story went. But I think that is a good time for us to leave this video here for now. So, thank you guys so much for watching this series. Be sure to leave a like, comment what you think, share this video with your friends, and be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss a single notification. I'll see all of you in the next video. Goodbye.